This is a time where there's going to be a lot of smoke screens. The closer to the draft, you're 7 days away, and you're going to get a lot of BS statements from GMs like Howie Roseman. I mean, he's not going to put out all his cards on the table, okay? That's one thing we have to understand. Howie Roseman had his press conference with Nick the other day. I'm not really going to focus on Nick Sirianni too much because Nick was kind of like evading a lot of questions, but Howie's going to evade a lot of questions too and give you totally different answers. The one question that I have going to this whole entire press conference is why the hell have Eagles passed up on wide receivers left and right? Why, if Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback, why are they not putting a weapon around him? To me, I just don't get it. Okay, I just don't get it at all. You pass up. Look, Calvin Ridley should have been a Philadelphia Eagle. Howie Roseman knew how this wide receiver market was going to be. Okay, but if you think he's the guy so badly, why aren't the Eagles at least forcing money onto some player? I mean, at this point, because you draft a player in the first round, which it looks like they're going to draft a wide receiver first round, most likely, you got to pay Devontae Smith in 2 years, and you got to pay the rookie wide receiver and right the year after. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to pay somebody. There's going to have to be some sort of time where it's going to happen. So why they're not going after Debo, why they're not, and I don't care about the compensation. Like, if you need a weapon, if you think this is the guy, you are building around him. The Eagles have not built around Jalen Hurts well. They have not. Devontae Smith is just one piece. Secondly, is our coaching staff the right way? Thirdly, why do we have an excuse for everything that we do? Why are we so close on getting players and we back out? Why are analysts saying, the Eagles were close, the Eagles had them, the Eagles were working hard to get it done but couldn't get it done? Why are the Eagles so close but yet so far away? To me, it makes no sense, to the point where Howie Roseman saying in this press conference the other day of not going towards the trend of the draft, which that makes me nervous in itself. The trend of the draft, I don't know what that means, but what I could kind of say about it is another heavy defensive draft. So you have a heavy defensive draft. You're going to take 2019 and say they went full offense in that draft with Dillard, Whiteside, Sanders. You got Clayton Thorson. You got Sharif Miller. You got one defensive player in 5 rounds. Okay, 5-6 rounds. So they could go the total opposite in this draft. They could move up for a wide receiver then more than a cornerback right now. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do. But what I can tell right now is if Hurts is the guy, why haven't they pulled the trigger? I don't care what the cap is. I don't care how much money we have. At the end of the day, you can acquire a wide receiver, trade for him, do whatever you can, and work on the cap and work for a big extension for next year for a certain wide receiver. Eagles had tons and tons of prospects that they just let slide right through their fingers. I don't get. I've never seen this with any team in my life. I really haven't. Like, when you hear that somebody's the guy, you're like putting players around him, and they're not doing it. I mean, I'm trying to make this make sense, but it really doesn't. That's why'd you make the Eagles Saint trade? And he just said it was just a good trade on both sides. And, I mean, it's for a quarterback next year. It is. Do they want to tank next year? Number 2, they haven't even changed any coaching staff. They haven't changed the coaching staff. Not one piece to the coaching staff whatsoever. So that is kind of alarming to say that they're just keeping everything the way it is, whether it's a failure, a success, whatever it is. I already have enough problems with Jonathan Gannon. I already have enough problems with Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator. Doesn't treat Devontae Smith like a number 1, treats Rager like a number 1, doesn't know how to use wide receivers, route combinations, play design. Jalen Hurts is a big piece that is a big flaw because he's still learning and, hopefully gets better from this big, offseason that he's had working with Tom House and Quincy Avery and some of these other guys, even throwing with Tom Brady. So it's not the work effort I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts, but if Jalen Hurts is working his tail off and this GM and Big Play Slay is trying to recruit as many wide receivers to join the squad as possible, and you're telling me that it was Calvin Ridley for a 3rd-round pick and that was it? They totally just took their foot off the gas? No DJ Chark? I mean, somebody proven they could have brought into the building. Somebody. I mean, I don't even care who it is at this point. But to draft another receiver this year, it's great, but at the same time, it's another rookie. This offense is way too young. You had a first-year head coach last year, a rookie quarterback, first-year offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles and Shane Steichen. I mean, you had a lot of new coaches, and a lot of mistakes were made last year because of no veteran, help when it comes to the coaching staff, when it comes to, having that veteran player. That we were way too young, and I think they had to add that proven piece to this offense. They haven't added to running back. I mean, nothing offensively, nothing. Zach Pascal is just a number 3 to number 4. That's not if that's the move that they wanted at a $1.3 million payoff. Okay, they haven't paid a contract beside Hassan Ridgeway. They haven't paid a contract over like $1.5 to $2 million. I mean, it's actually that sad. It's actually pretty embarrassing. Okay, I understand we locked up some players last year. I understand that, but let me tell you something. If you want a player that badly and you want your quarterback to succeed, you bring a guy in and you try to fit him under the cap and you make some moves to fit him under the cap. You'll do whatever you possibly can. This is why you get paid as a GM. Not just for trades, not just for signing guys, but when it comes to moving the cap, when it comes to, trying. And I thought Howie Roseman could move the cap. He's a mastermind at doing it. But why are the Eagles, like, if Jalen Hurts is the guy for this year at least, why aren't you building around him? I feel like they're going to tank. I just feel like this whole entire offseason has been very underwhelming because I thought we were going to get the complete opposite. I thought we were going mostly defense in this draft, where they went mostly defense in free agency, then go offense. So it's really confusing. So other than really that I just have a huge problem with, he talked about Jalen Reagor being the focal point of the Philadelphia Eagles fans and knowing that this pick is horrible. He said, you win on some picks, you lose on some picks. Like I said, he's talked about the trend that he might, I'm not going to follow the trend. And the trend is defense in this draft and what players are going in the top 10, top 20. And I feel like he's going to go a different route. I mean, at this point, he can go Linderbaum and Trent McDuffie or Drake London at this point. You know what I mean? That would really just totally piss me off. Or go quarterback. I would take Matt Corral. I would keep Matt Corral in the picture because I don't trust this GM on what he's going to do. Okay? If this is the guy... if Hurts plays like crap this year and his wide receivers look even worse because he's looking as bad as he could be, I'm not putting on Jalen Hurts as much because, Howie had flexibility. Giving Howie more draft picks, it seems like it just made him more lazy this offseason. Don't worry about the position. We're going to draft the guy. I mean, that's how I see it. Like, drafting is always good. You don't build through free agency. You build through the draft. But at the same time, you have a wide receiver core that's way too young right now. You need that proven guy. Debo would be perfect for it. You need a King's, quote-unquote, a King's ransom to even acquire him. So I don't know what the Eagles are doing. I really don't. To me, if you could tell me what Howie's doing right now, it could be drafting a quarterback. It could be going totally offense in the first 2 rounds because I could see it happen. They can go wide receiver, running back. I mean, they can go offensive line. I mean, they can go total opposite. This defense this roster needs a build badly. And you need some veterans on this team. You need at least one for this offense, which, like I said, Zach Pascal, Devon Allen, hasn't played since 2016 in Oregon. So, I mean, at this point, it's like, what did you add? Like cheap contracts that aren't going to make a big difference. Boston Scott cheap, Greg Ward cheap. There's not one move beside Hassan Reddick costed over $2 million for the year. That Hassan Reddick was the breakout signing, which was great, but we're lucky we even got him because he came here because he wanted to play for the Eagles. He could have got a bigger contract somewhere else. We luckily got Hassan Reddick. So this offseason has been so underwhelming. Every player they've went after, they either let slide through their fingers or they were there and they backed out. For some weird reason, I don't know why they're not taking a chance. You got to be aggressive. Like, you have to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice something. And Howie hasn't been aggressive since pretty much 2017. I mean, it's been a long time since he's been aggressive. That around Carson Wentz in 17 when he came out of the boiler room after sitting there for a couple of years, a few years. He went in and got Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffrey and got LeGarrette Blount and got Jay Ajayi down the road. Like, he did almost anything. But at the same time, those contracts were very, very cheap. Okay. But now, because the wide receiver market is so crazy, it's just really hard to go by what he's going to do. I don't trust this guy with anything. And I knew watching this press conference was getting me more aggravated, more pissed off, and I am, because I'm telling you right now, like, it's not going to be fair to Jalen Hurts. As much as I talk crap about Jalen Hurts, and I still will root for him this year, it's not fair that he's not giving any talent around him. Get more competition in this wide receiver room. Stop making everybody so comfortable at every position. That's what I can't stand. You want to make sure that every player at every position is uncomfortable to even be a starter. You want more competition in this room offensively. I just think the Eagles have done nothing. I feel like, are they trying to tank? And this Eagles-Saints trade kind of made it obvious that they're going to be getting a quarterback next year. So, I mean, at least all you can do for this kid is to bring in a wide receiver. Why don't you trade for I mean, at this point, I'd give up a first-round pick for a proven talent to come here. I mean, Deebo Samuel's 26 years old. You know what I mean? So, like, why, I'm not even saying just Deebo Samuel. That's just an example of how many receivers you could have got at this point. So it really pisses me off, makes me angry. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. That's my rant on this whole thing. I mean, a lot of this press conference was BS, bullcrap statements and PR statements that I can't stand. So it's not fair to Jalen Hurts. I don't think what this front office is doing is fair. It's not. If they get, they should have traded for somebody. They should have traded for somebody or acquired somebody through free agency. I understand some receivers we couldn't get, but there are at least some that are going to be good number twos for Jalen Hurts. I wasn't looking for a number one guy because we have it in Devontae Smith. So there's always an excuse for why the Eagles can't do certain things. You have Andrew Berry that left here, went to the Browns, and became the GM over there, and he makes moves like crazy every year. I mean, you have another guy left to go to the Giants. He's an assistant of Howie Roseman, went to the Giants as an assistant GM, and he's, he knows what the Eagles are doing. And they, draft some good players here and there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to Hurts. It's not fair to these fans, and it's bull crap. It really is. It's not fair. But I don't know what this guy's doing. I really don't. But other than that, guys, pretty much I know it was a long video, but this is what I got from the press conference the other day. He said even at this press conference he's talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is our guy, and we have faith. Then put a weapon around him. Something. I just can't deal with it. I really can't. So, other than that, guys, pretty much it. I'm not going to rant too much longer, but see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, so peace out, guys.